slide. Ready to roll? Okay, it's 6 p.m., so we'll call the meeting in order for Upson County Board of Commissioners for Tuesday, June the 11th. If you would at this time, please rise. Pastor Floyd, it's great to see you again. Assume you're here to take care of that business for us tonight.
Heavenly Father, once again, we're so thankful that we could reach up to you, realizing, Lord, the importance of right now. We just ask, God, that you will continue to lead us, direct us, Lord, in all that we do. God, all the projects, Lord, all the decisions, we just ask, God, that you will lead us, because we know the importance, Lord, of coming together with unity, coming together to strive to make our community the best community for all that live here, Lord. And we just ask that you will touch us, that you will guide us, that you will lead us in everything that we do. And we give you glory, praise, and honor, because it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Join me in the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Good. Thank you. Okay, gentlemen, first item on tonight's agenda is a public hearing for a beer and wine package sales license. It's for Shanez Roy on behalf of Southside Grocery at 5775 Indian Trail. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of the public hearing being open? Public hearing is open. Okay. Let's see. No one signed up for comments for the public hearing, so with that, I'll entertain a motion to exit the public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Public hearing is now closed. So we have the application here. Ms. Jones, you meets all the requirements? Any concerns?
No concerns. Staff recommendation is approval.
Any concern? So gentlemen, you have staff's recommendation. Is there a motion on this application?
Mr. Chairman, I'll motion to approve it.
Have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion to approve made and seconded to approve a application for a beer and wine license at 5775 Indian Trail for Mr. Shanez. Ms. Jones?
Commissioner Ellington?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Chairman Allen?
Yes. Okay. Next item, gentlemen, is public comments. I have one, so when I call your name, if you would, step forward to one of these X's, your name and your address for the record. Mr. Searcy.
I exit this time, being president meeting.
It's a sign-in sheet.
Oh, sign-in sheet. Oh, all right. All right, there we go. So we have no public comments. Moving along, next item is your consent agenda. Our consent agenda for tonight's consideration on the consent is the approval of the May 28 joint projects meeting minutes, approval of the May 28 regular meeting minutes, and approval of the paving of the 2 South Bethel Street parking lots, which we discussed at our work session. Is there a motion on tonight's consent?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
And a motion made and seconded to approve tonight's consent. Ms. Jones?
Commissioner Ellington?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Chairman Allen?
Yes. New business, discussion and consideration on resolution 10.2024, increasing the residential solid waste collection rates per the Consumer Price Index, CPI. Jason, you want to, I know we've discussed this, but you want to kind of review it, or
Sure.
could you just?
So, just as a brief recap from our discussion at the work session, we have a cost escalation clause in our contract with GFL. They invoked that clause, therefore noticing us that they were going to increase their fees to us for the service based on the CPI index, we've reviewed that and discovered that we also agree that the CPI index increased from the period of time, it's from May to May in their agreement. So as such, staff is recommending to the board that we increase the solid waste collection fees, and we have 2 fees, by that similar percentage. It's actually just a little bit more because we went to the next dollar. So the current fee for a single card is $43.29 a quarter. That would go to $46 a quarter. If you have an additional card, they're each at $32.42 a quarter. Those would go to $35 even per quarter. I want to say the cost escalation in the CPI was 5.1. This is a little higher than 5.1 simply just because we rounded up to near 12.
What does that equate to in terms of dollars of what it would cost the county if we stayed?
If we stayed, so we would essentially, we're running, and if you don't mind, I'll let the CFO correct me if I'm wrong. We were running just a slight deficit, I think, last year, but we also have a healthy fund balance. So I think if you left it, we would just see that deficit increase by another 5.1. I think without looking it up, I can't tell you what that deficit was. It was minimal last year, I think, but. Yeah. So this would still probably have us at a small operational deficit, but again, with near $1 million in fund balance, I think we're comfortable only just doing this rather than doing more. So.
When's the last increase? I don't recall an increase.
I think 2018 was our last one.
It's been a while.
2018 was our last increase.
And if we take this, if we basically take this cost on ourselves, I mean, it really still falls back to the taxpayers what it's going to do.
In this case, the user.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus go ahead and let the user pay for it instead of putting it on all the taxpayers.
It would just deplete our fund balance
Yeah,
more quickly.
Would make sense.
Yeah, in previous work sessions, we had discussed different uses for those funds that still related to solid waste, and we wanted to try to maintain those if we could. So,
Any more questions? Okay, so to kind of summarize, you've heard the summary, but you have before you the resolution approving this, and so I'm not going to read the top part, but bottom line is, it says, whereas the Upson County Board of Commissioners has reviewed the proposed solid waste collection inflation adjustments and has determined that they are necessary and appropriate to ensure the financial viability and sustainability of the solid waste fund, enterprise fund, therefore now be resolved that we would adopt this. So hearing no more questions, is there a motion on this resolution?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Did you get that?
Okay.
We're in harmony tonight.
I see.
Okay, I have a motion made and seconded to approve the resolution, which in turn is an increase on the solid waste collection rates. Hearing no further discussion, Ms. Jones.
Commissioner Ellington?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Chairman Allen?
Yes. Okay. Discussion and consideration on resolution 11.2024, a bond guarantee request from Upson Regional Medical Center. So we remember the discussion at our work session from last week. This is the resolution that we asked everyone to come back to us with to consider getting the process started for considering the bond for the hospital. Jason, do you have anything you want to add?
I think, Mr. Chairman, the board would be most concerned with what we call Section 2.
Yep.
And these were the items that Davenport recommended that we include. So bond counsel included those verbatim, but in legal speak,
Yeah.
as you can see.
Yeah.
But essentially, it has to do, the first section has to do with financial disclosure from the hospital to the county on an ongoing basis. 2, that the hospital pay for all the associated fees and costs of negotiating the intergovernmental contract and issuing the revenue certificates. 3 were the requirements that the authority pay or cause the See, they're, in here, you have to be careful, they're, in the resolution, they're differentiating the authority versus
The hospital.
the hospital. But the way it reads, and it reads in most of these, is requirements authority pay or cause UCH to pay any ongoing expenses of the county's associated costs with this. So like ongoing disclosure, they would have to cover the cost for that. The cost for negotiating it up front and actually doing the issue, we would require them to pay those. Requirement that the authority pay or cause UCH to pay financing or credit enhancement fees to the county. So that we're saying that that's an option for negotiation in the future. Series of negotiations to solidify this intergovernmental agreement. Requirements that the authority notify or cause UCH to notify and seek consent of the county in order for UCH to incur additional indebtedness. And then the last one was a requirement that the authority or UCH establish a debt service reserve fund for the Series 2024 certificates. Those were all the items that we actually discussed in the work session. There's nothing additional. So that's basically a summary of the things that Davenport asked the board to consider as they move forward in the negotiation.
Okay.
When are we gonna start, when we actually gonna put something together to do this?
Sign this resolution tonight, negotiations start immediately, right? Well, they've already started, I mean.
Well, I think, and you do have members of hospital staff here, but I think their next step is, they really needed the resolution of support to actually go and have a meaningful process to sort through their financing. So the next step is they would go, I guess, go to market and find their best deal, and then we would come back to the table after that. But I don't want to speak for them
Okay.
That's my understanding.
Okay. Any other questions? So I'm not going to read this entire thing. We'll be here for a while, but Jason did a great job summarizing section 2. Bottom line is, this is a resolution showing our intent to move forward with negotiations on this. That's the best way to summarize this.
Yeah.
With the terms that the board wants staff, our financial advisors in the hospital to figure out how to get this done.
Maybe best described in the title, Resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Upson County authorizing county staff to engage in discussions and negotiations with the Hospital Authority of Upson County and Upson County Regional Medical Center with respect to an intergovernmental contract to provide credit support for certain indebtedness proposed to be issued by the Hospital Authority of Upson County and for related matters.
Great summary. Okay. So,
Question.
yes, sir.
All right, so he's happy with it, Alan happy with it, and Jason happy with it?
And there's others, our bond counsel and our financial advisors.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is, like Jason said, this is just and the chairman, this is just a mechanism to allow us to start negotiations. It doesn't lock us into anything, but it gives no.
This should result in an intergovernmental agreement that comes back to us for
approval.
yes. Okay. So, gentlemen, you have, and staff recommended obviously approval of this. So
Yeah, your bond counsel recommends approval of it.
okay. But you agree with it, right?
I do.
To the best of your ability.
I reviewed it and conversed with our consultant and our attorney, and everyone's in agreement that.
Next path forward.
And this will help the hospital get started on their financing.
Yep. Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion made and second authorizing the resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Upson County to authorize staff to engage in discussions and negotiations with the Hospital Authority of Upson County and the Upson County Regional Medical Center with respect to an intergovernmental contract to provide credit support for certain indebtedness proposed to be issued by the Hospital Authority of Upson County and for related matters. Hearing no further discussion, Ms. Jones.
Commissioner Ellington?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Chairman Allen?
Yes. All right, great. All right. Next items are just our normal comments. So, Jason.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, if I could defer my time, I invited our engineer to join us today. I've had several one-off conversations with commissioners who've had constituent concerns with recent road resurfacing projects. So I thought, rather than me stumble through it, I would let you hear it directly from the engineer who wrote the spec, and he could give us an update as to where we are. I know, like, we're at different levels of finished on different parts of the project, but he could give you an update on that and answer any potential questions you have. And I will add that you have a very detailed report from a member of our engineers staff, one of his colleague engineers, who gave you a breakdown of every road and where it was in the process. Attached to that in your report, you'll have the specs for each of the roads as it was written by EMC. So
Yeah,
if you need any of the detail, but I think Chris can easily summarize it.
And to help tee it up a little bit, I mean, I talked to Jason today. I mean, since we started this type of surface treatment project, I mean, I think that there was some misunderstandings from some, especially in the community, about what this was. I mean, we chose roads for this that were basically on the verge of being gone. There was nothing. This process is something that we considered because the type of the roads that we were doing, they're roads going to the far reaches of the county. These are roads that were basically gone. The only thing that was the main part of the roads that were left were patches of coal patch that had been put over there for the last 30 or 40 years. Roads that logging operations happen on. They're hunting roads. Roads that feed more dirt roads. So, and so this was a way to try to save what was left of the road and at the same time make some improvements to them. Is that a good way to sum it up?
Yes, sir.
So now we've got this. We've got folks that use these roads, and they're not happy. So my question to you and to Jason is are we getting what we bid out? I mean, I've heard everything from they're not doing it wide enough. They're not doing it. I mean, we knew there was no leveling to be done on this. This was to go down and salvage a dirt road that nothing's been done to it for 30 years plus. To provide just a way to save that road, and then if some point somebody wants to come back later and do leveling and to pay to do some other sort of surface treatment or asphalt on this road, and I can't figure out why in the world you would ever do that when you've got 250 miles of roads around the county that ain't been touched in 30 or 40 years, that the traffic count is substantially higher. So we're trying to save these roads. So my question was, are we getting what was put out in the bid?
Yes, sir. So, as y'all know, EMC, under the direction and support with the staff, and we prepared bid documents based off of GDOT specs. We had a public procurement process. We selected a qualified contractor. They've been in town for 2 weeks and made great progress. 11.1 miles was on the books, and we're about halfway, a little over halfway done as of today. I think they mobilized right after the Memorial Day holiday with a projection of being done by the end of the week for the bulk of the work. There's still a lot of going back and doing shoulder work and things to finish up and tidy up. But we've had inspectors on site. We've had a representative from one of the vendors on site every day with an additional level of quality control. And I'm confident that we're getting everything that's in the plans and specs on these roads that we put out for bid.
Any questions?
I got some questions. All right, so I understand that, so there's no leveling going on. I mean, all right, so,
No, sir.
so we're about to pull out on these far reach roads, as they call them. And we're about to pull into a neighborhood in Sunnyside, and we're about to do this on these roads. That is not what I thought it was, and that's not what I want to see, because my phone's gonna be ringing. If you put that in a residential neighborhood, it's not acceptable.
So what's our option?
So, because basically they're putting down, for lack of a better word, they're putting down tar and throwing rock on top of it.
It's a chip and seal product, yes, sir.
If there's a pothole there, what happens?
So they're repairing the potholes prior to any placement of stone. They're putting additional six, a larger stone in it, going through there, making spot repairs as needed, and then carrying on with the triple surface treatment.
But to get to that point, there are some roads, the potholes exceeded the amount of asphalt on the road.
Yes.
John B. Gordon, Adams Ferry, there were more potholes than there was asphalt.
And
So
I
you
get
can't
that.
fix those potholes without rebuilding the road.
Right.
But when you go into a residential neighborhood, we're not talking about a rural county road, we're talking about a residential neighborhood. That's something totally different.
I don't
If I
disagree.
can't put it on your.
I don't
road,
disagree with you.
it would
But
be good.
we bid it out. So what do we do now? Do we, you want to stop it? How do we stop it? Or do you do it and let that be, and one of the things that, we've talked about is this product does provide some level of, a substantial level of, it saves the road. It provides a base that you can go back later and do leveling and asphalt on top of it, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? I got our,
Pretty much every road we covered up thus far was chip seal.
I agree. Level chip seal.
okay. So what's your direction? What do you?
The direction is, I do not want to put it in a residential neighborhood. If they do, I'll be happy to pass y'all's phone numbers out
Well,
and let them call y'all and say.
they're already calling, so, texting me right now. So,
I mean, what will be the these roads, I don't have the list in front of me.
that's what I got.
What is the mileage?
It is, yeah.
The total mileage of the project.
I'm just talking about the roads.
So what roads are you
inside the
talking
road.
about? The remaining roads are Rose Creek, Potato Creek, Alexandria Way, Grandview Drive,
Grandview.
and Pamela Court.
Pamela Court. 3 roads right there.
So Alexandria Way, Grandview Drive, Pamela, when are they gonna mobilize to be there?
They'll be there, could be tomorrow afternoon, if not Thursday.
But what's the mileage on that?
So Grandview is 0.2 miles, Alexandria Way is 0.1, and Pamela Court is 0.07.
A tenth of a mile. Try this
Well, they're on Rose Creek, Potato Creek right
Yeah,
now.
I got it in the wrong one.
So about a mile.
There you go. The tenth.
Less than that,
Still
that's
less than
0.4 miles.
Alexandria Way, Grandview, and Pamela combined, 0.4 miles.
0.4.
So half a mile, you're rounding up. So about, using rough numbers, cost about $35,000 of this product.
40, basically right now, we're, in this project, the way it was let, we're at about $80,000 a mile.
Right, okay,
About 40.
so less than $40,000. So do you put this down and then come back and do something with it when we do the next road resurfacing? Or what's, I mean, this is a
What I saw
legal
today
question.
now, what I saw today was actually a pothole that wasn't filled. It was tarred, chipped, right? Just did that. Personally saw it. After the phone call, I drove out, looked at it, I saw it.
Where? Adams Ferry?
Adams Ferry.
What do they got left to do on Adams Ferry? Just the striping?
Wrap up all the sand seal on the shoulders and then let it cure out and stripe it.
Okay, so that dip's gonna be there.
We're not changing the profile.
I know.
That's one of those things that
Is there anything we can do in-house to fix it?
we could cut back, put in a section of either hot mix or a cold patch section in that area.
Is that the only most significant spot, or is there, or more?
Well, I don't want to downplay the fact that it's there, but what I'm trying to say is we're going from a rural road to a residential neighborhood with homes in it on 2 acre lots, and we're gonna do that to their road. now.
Okay, well, let's split. So I guess to help get to some resolution here. So to that point,
I
we've
like
got
to
a
say
contract,
those-
we've got a contract let. They're gonna be mobilizing tomorrow afternoon. What do we do if we now say we don't like this, we don't want it on these three roads? Do we just stop work? I mean, what's been your experience as a contractor out there saying, hey, we just don't like this, we don't wanna do this?
So,
I'm gonna let Chris answer, then, I mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
because it's more of a contract,
Contract management, make
Yeah.
question.
they get paid for not doing it.
they don't, it's a unit price contract. so
Oh, is it?
It's based off of square yards and quantities. However, that they have already brought the material to the job site. They've always purchased the asphalt liquid, emulsion that they use. So it's not I don't do it and I get 100% credit. I think we would have to talk with the contractor and assess what type of stored material, if you will, that they have already associated with the project. And I know they've got 100% of the rock on site and 100% of the emulsion asphalt on site. So you have that much of material that would have to be, discussed.
About $40,000, well,
Say,
less than
I don't know what it
40,000, I
is.
mean, so,
You
yeah,
know,
we don't know.
I don't want to price their material cost, but
Yeah.
there's a cost associated with that material being on site, and the only thing that you'll save is the labor of installing it.
yeah.
I don't know that you would say that since we've already agreed to pay them to do the bid process.
Well, it's a unit price, so we do a measure, and if it's 10,000, it's placed square yardage. So it's not a lump sum contract, it's per quantity. So if they don't place the quantity, you'll just have to negotiate the stored material. And if everything's based on GDOT specs, and there's a way to procure stored material and things like that as well.
If they don't have capacity to do a level.
They are a asphalt contractor. They can bring somebody in here to level if we need to. It's just,
They ain't gonna have it here
they don't
tomorrow.
have the equipment here. There's not a paving machine in town. It's a different process to do leveling.
I think if you,
That's my issue, is that it isn't necessarily the product, it's the product, there's no leveling done.
or the roads, I mean, and I'm not familiar with those, I mean, are they that far gone?
No, but there's potholes on them. And we gotta get out there and patch them before they go through there and throw rock and tar in it. Still a dip there.
Why couldn't we take this half a mile and do it as like an add alternate to our paving
And divert these.
and then
divert
just
this.
roll right behind it and put asphalt on these half a mile roads?
We certainly can. We can come back with an asphalt layer if you wanted to. We do use this type of application for a crack relief on a lot of jobs, some type of surface treatment. So that is a solution as well. But the only thing is you're not going to correct that profile with one lift. If that's what you're aiming to do is correct that profile, you can't do that with thin overlay in my opinion.
Well, what's our solution to that then?
We can tell them to stop and put the project back out under different specifications.
Finish those, I mean, so is that, I'm just hearing those three roads, are there any other roads? I mean, they've started every other one, right?
They moved all their equipment to Rose Creek, Potato Creek today. So
They probably started.
Kendall is done without the sand seal, Adams Ferry, John B. Gordon, and River Bend.
I get it. We tried it. That was part of this thing. We said we were gonna try a product that we haven't tried before to try to preserve some of these roads that were so far gone and that were so far down the list that they probably wouldn't see leveling or asphalt for a very, very long time when you still got half the roads in the county that ain't been touched in 30 or 40 or 50 years. So what do you want to do? Stop?
Well, if we can come right back and put a layer of asphalt on top of it, we can roll with it, but I mean, in the end of the day, if you're not gonna go in there and you're not gonna patch a pothole, if I leave here tonight and I go out there and I find potholes that ain't patching, I'm gonna have a real issue.
So,
We gotta do better homework.
what do you mean?
I mean, we said we were gonna do, we did Willis Road. Willis Road's a totally different project than what we did.
Yeah, because it was rebuilt. It had leveling in it. There was no leveling in this.
We've never bid out, in our tenure here, we've never done triple surface treatment in this manner. We've done double surface treatment with leveling, with an asphalt leveling course. And to the chairman's, thought process, these were really bad roads that we got numbers on what it would cost to repave John B. Gordon, if y'all remember back in 2021.
Yeah, like I said, I get it, but how do we get?
How much was it?
How do we get into a residential?
And we're doing it
1.2.
for $297,000 right now.
Yeah.
To salvage that, the base layer that we can, like you said, Mr. Chairman, we can go back and, all we're doing is shifting it down the list where we don't lose it before we can get back to it.
Okay.
Because the direction, based off of our report, was maintain the thoroughfares, the high volume roads, things like that.
So if we go ahead and finish this, put this down, and then put those roads on the project list that we're about to see probably at our next meeting, I would assume, pretty
We'll be
soon.
working, yes, sir, we'll be working.
Well, no, we won't see it until we get the contract.
Right, we'll be working.
You're already doing that.
Yes.
So it's easy to go ahead and put that on there.
That's right.
And like we talked about at the work session, what the earliest we'll probably see any paving going on now will be towards the end of this paving season for that contract. I mean, we're talking about 60 miles of roads.
That's right.
It's a $10 million project.
Yes, sir.
So if you put that on there and you don't know how this contract's gonna mobilize, I mean, it could be what you're putting out there, what we're gonna put out there, maybe there a year. Well, not quite a year.
Or if I may, we could prioritize those roads to be part of their initial mobilization. But that's something that.
I just
we want
need,
to
I just
direct.
need those people to know when they see that product go down out there, and if there's potholes out there and they're not passed, that's not the final product. That's not what it is.
What can we, and what can we do to mitigate some of these potholes? I mean, like I know on Adams Ferry, there was a road, there was a part in the road where the road pretty much had failed. And our guys went out there with a grade all, dug it out, bought some GAB in, packed it down the best they could
Yeah.
before this process went down to take care of that part where the road was.
Right. And that was actually on John B. Gordon.
Yeah.
But, it's one of those things, when we talk about patching and where do you stop? You've got an entire road, the entire center line is cold patch, beat up. We're trying to put rock back in there and cover it up and give you a wear course that can last another 3, 4, in some cases, I was talking with a colleague, we can probably get 10 years out of it because of the low traffic volume if the log trucks don't show up tomorrow. But, it's one of those things, where do you stop? Because we're going into a situation, if you go down that road, you might as well just tear the road up and start all over, which is not the intent of this project. We were not going to do full depth reclamation. We're not going to repave the entire road. We were trying to salvage something to get it off of.
Not spend over $1 billion on a road
Not
that has
spend-
about 30 cars on it a day.
So just, if I'm saying to me wrong, but the last project, how conveniently, it was 11 miles that we put on the street. It was an asphalt project, $250,000 a mile, and we're doing 11 miles for $80,000 a mile, all in. So that's the savings, and that's 11 more miles that you're getting off of the bad list and giving life until we can get back around to it.
Well, and I want to say this in closing on this is, I'm not trying to put blame anywhere. There's enough blame to go all the way around, but ultimately, it boils down to this. This product should never go in a residential neighborhood. I've determined that. I don't care how many experts you bring in here. If they've been doing it for 500 years combined, we should never put this in a residential neighborhood. I just need it corrected. Thank you.
Well, you got to correct it.
We are going to correct it.
Well, what's the method?
We're
That's
gonna have
what
to
I'm
put it down,
asking.
it's gonna be on the priority list to be paid first when the asphalt hits the street.
We'll see.
I didn't look at the product. Who looked at the product?
There's some roads that's already on, what do we?
Nobody looked at it until it got put down. Right?
Yeah, because I went down to B. Gordon, I went down to Adams Ferry, and Kendall Road is already down there too.
But, I mean, if you haven't been down John B. Gordon, go down remember what it was like going down John B. Gordon 2 weeks ago and go down it today.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Yes. And it's brought life to that road.
Yes, sir.
if we didn't do that, we wouldn't. Yep.
This is a product that we have never tried in Upshur County before. Am I correct?
As far as I know.
I'm not the road superintendent, so.
I don't think, not this product.
But did it do what we expected it to do? It bought light, and I'm sitting up here and I'm catching myself like I'm trying to advocate for this product. I'm not. What I'm advocating for is that we saved some roads. We kicked the can down on some roads that, look, what were the other options to do to these roads? Completely mill them up and make them dirt roads again.
That was my recommendation when
Yeah.
when we saw the cost of what it was gonna do to the asphalt type repair. Leave it alone and let it turn into a dirt road and just let it be a dirt road for the rest of our life.
Turn the motor grader loose on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an option. When we got roads out here, I mean, and we get the road list out where we've got traffic counts of a hell of a lot more than 30 cars a day with a lot more residents living on them that are demanding their roads be, something be done to them. So this was, I mean, I get it. There's people out there that may not be happy or not happy. I mean, some folks are out there that are actually happy that something was done to the road, But there are some out there that are not happy because it's not blacktop asphalt going to a fish camp. So, Bill.
I gotta say one thing. We first went and looked at that road. If that thing had any ADT on it, that was FDR. That's where you grind the whole road up, put cement in it. You come back with a chip seal, you pave on top of it. Leveling, and like you're talking about, it's not an option. You go and put asphalt on top of the way it's cracked up and busted up down there. First loaded truck comes down it, trying to get to the paper's gonna tear up the road you just done. There's almost, it's better than 3/4 gallon a square yard. The number 6 stone was basically the patching. We went down through that road with a crew. Everywhere there's a pothole or popped out, we shot liquid in it, put 5 stone in it, and shot over the top of it before we come back over with a 6 stone. With a 6, this first time in probably 25 years I've done it's a quad seal. There's 4 layers of rock out there. But we done another road one time before it got by us. We were in such a bad shape. But the 6 stone was basically a big stone that went down to get in all the fishes. I understand down there, I saw them pulling the tape. I got about 3 videos on my phone this morning of them out there measuring the road. That road was in and out. Some places 17, some places 20. If we made it all 20, if we put rock out there in the dirt, it's not gonna stay there. So, we covered up where the road was, in and out. And, but some of these roads you're talking about, I mean, I say that, you could go through Yellowstone Park in Montana, it's chip seal. It's put on a lot of places, love it. I mean, you do it right, it can go down, but before I understand that thing needed leveling down there, but you got a good base down, the base is sealed off. And I rode down it Sunday with me and my wife and the Can-Am and the dog. We rode down there and there's a guy standing out in the yard right there at the river. So we think about the road. He said, well, it's got a few rough spots. I said, yeah. And there's a brand new Harley sitting over on the right. I said, I bet you 2 weeks ago you went and rode that Harley down this road. He said, you're right. Well, I mean, it's got a few little, for the coal mix and all that over the years, but at the end of the day,
Well,
it's a good looking road. Out of Furious, I mean, this John B. Gordon, look good. The one going into the River Bend. It's, y'all welcome to chip seal the JD Road any day you want.
okay. All right, so the action is, right now, no action
I
required.
would
Go
just,
ahead.
if you got some spots, now you got a good base down there, you can level, do whatever you want to do with it.
Well, the roads I'm talking about, they're not nowhere the shape of the roads like Johnny Gordon.
And and when you go on with a 6 stone, that's a big old core stone. Some of my roads may not warrant that big old rock. All of them got lead as a quad seal, but the others you might go out there with a smaller stone and 89 W10s and be fine. It's just that big rock gives it that, gives it that structure and all.
Moving on.
Move it, we're gonna put it down, we're gonna come back and asphalt.
I wish we'd had some quantity. I called last week, we was just put another layer down, I said, and call around, see if somebody could just bring something to fill in a few of the impressions. But, you know, if we'd have probably about 3 loads of asphalt, we'd probably, you know, fix the majority of it down there.
All right. Jason, got anything else?
No, Mr. Chairman, that was the only item I had for tonight.
Jones, anything?
Yes, one thing, I just wanted to thank the board on behalf of all the employees for the county picnic on Friday. We had a really good time, and we really appreciate the opportunity.
It was really fun.
Sorry I missed it. Mr. James?
I don't have anything, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Mr. Wild?
I don't have anything.
Mr. Jones?
Ha. I appreciate everybody that showed up. Sorry it took us, you know, the beginning of the meeting was kind of, you know, tied into something else, but, and people that were watching on YouTube. It's hard for me to say this, but I do things different than a lot of people. If your campaign sign's still out there, I don't know what to do about it, you know. The ones that had competition and we're voting for right now, I can understand them. But if people, the election was, you know, a long ways away, and I still got, and Lorenzo's still got a lot of signs that in his neighborhood, so pick up your signs. That's all I can say. That's it, I'm done.
Mr. Allen?
Well, you know, to tell everybody, go vote. I'll say this, you know, I was really disappointed, you know, we got, about 18,000 voters in Upson County. And about 4,500 showed up to vote. Are we really gonna let 4,400 people decide for the whole county how things are gonna go? Everybody, they'll show up presidential election, but they'll fuss about the property taxes. They'll call you, but they won't vote for you. People need to get out and vote. It doesn't matter whether they vote for me or whoever you vote for. Just go vote. Let your voice be heard. Because they don't have a problem calling you up to complain, but they don't go vote. Go vote. Call me up and tell me you voted for me and complain. But don't call me up and tell me you did vote and you want something done. All right, that's all I'm gonna say about that. The other thing I'm gonna say is, you know, we had a lot of debate tonight about these roads and stuff like that. But my thing is this, you know, if there's a mistake, you say there's a mistake, you correct the mistake, and you move on. You don't try to make an issue out of it. I don't know everything, and I hope everybody up here doesn't think they know everything, and I don't think they do. But when we tried something, it didn't really work out the way we wanted it to work out. It's nobody's fault, but we got to try something different now because that's not working. And moving forward, we just need to really research where we put stuff. And I really realized that we took a product and we had a project in mind for that product, but what happened is that product spread from that job to a couple other jobs, and we didn't really realize that it was a great fit for some places, but in a residential neighborhood, I don't think it's such a great fit. I wouldn't be happy, and I wouldn't expect somebody that lived in the neighborhood to be happy with it. And ultimately, they're helping pay for it. That's all I got to say.
Just one thing to piggyback on our conversation at our work session before this. I'm really hopeful that we can utilize some of our SPOS dollars and get this project started off with the ball fields, because they're in bad shape. A lot of kids get out there and they busted lips, and I mean it needs some work. So I'm hoping we can jump on that and get it done before next spring. That's it.
I agree with you. Okay. Speaking of rec, the email the other day about getting some stuff out there for the kids to do because the pool starts
Thursday.
Starts this Thursday. So
And
there'll
then
be,
we've already got it on the Facebook page and the radio and,
okay,
yep.
all right, great. All right, appreciate everybody doing that, and the pool's on track to be open.
And there was a member of the community who doesn't wish to be named, whose idea it really was, kind of put it in my ear and Mr. Lonnie Joyce's ear. So to them, they know who they are. Thank you, that was a great idea.
Yep. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, I'll just summarize like this. If you don't swing the bat, you can't hit the ball, can you? Sometimes you swing the bat, sometimes you get a hit, sometimes you get a home run, sometimes, you bunt, but you gotta swing the bat. We all sat up here and we all looked at the bids, not necessarily the bid specs, but we looked at the roads. We understood it was something new, and we swung the bat, and okay, I get it. We own it. It sounds like the will of the board is gonna be to go back on some of these roads and correct it. But I'm of the personal opinion that on some of these roads, it was the right thing to do, and I stand by it. Spending $70,000 for a road that doesn't get traveled, and it doesn't make sense to asphalt it when you got 250 miles of asphalted road out here that needs work on. Some of these roads ain't been touched since some people in this room were in the asphalt business. So we're playing catch up, and this board has done a lot of catching up to do. When this next road project gets done, we'll be close to 200 miles of roads, and we owe the citizens the credit for it because they voted for the T-Splosh. For decades, all this county did was 6 to 8 to 10 miles of roads a year using the LMIG. We're in a much better situation today because of that single county T-Splosh, so we're able to do it. Sorry we can't get out there and pave your road today.
But it's
But
coming.
there's 505 roads and 426 miles. And guess what? The roads that we did 5 years ago, 6 years ago, they need to be on the list today because there's pavement preservation stuff that needs to be done. And we've talked about it. We need to get out there and start putting some sealing down and restriping some of these roads that we have paved. So with that, I don't have anything else. Any final thoughts? Don't hear anything. Is there a motion to adjourn? Adjourn. Good.
Hey, John, there's a copy of that resolution in your inbox. Tuesday at 9.